Hello, you guys, and welcome back to the It's Cringe But It's True podcast. I'm your host, Ellie Olivier, and this week's episode, I took a little inspo from a post that I made a couple weeks ago on TikTok, and it was like one of those like slide posts. It wasn't a video, it was like pictures. And the title, the first slide was, "You're not missing him, you're missing these 5 things." This video ended up doing really good. Video. I just said it wasn't a video. This slide, what do you call it? Post, whatever. Ended up doing super good. I got a ton of messages, DMs, comments saying like this is exactly what I needed to hear right now, or like asking more advice on the stuff I shared on the slide. So then it hit me to do a full episode on this because I have so much more to share on this tiny little slideshow that I did of these 5 things. So today we are going to be going in depth talking about each one of these 5 things and essentially just the psychology of detachment and understanding why you're missing that person and kind of validating those feelings. And then at the end, we'll kind of talk about how to stop missing them and not miss them as much. So let's jump right into it. So first, I just want to say to have compassion for yourself and sympathy. Go easy on yourself. Of course you miss him. Like, of course this is hard for you. And again, I want you guys to internalize whatever I'm saying to fit your own situation or whatever's happening in your life right now. So just start by like, you don't need to be so mad at yourself for missing him. Like, of course you miss him. I feel like a lot in my life, like I was like, okay, like I need to get over him. I don't want to miss him anymore. But it does help to just put some validity into your feelings. Like, of course you feel that way. Of course you're sad. And you'll see when we hear more today about the psychology, about what's actually happening in your brain, because it's actually insane. And I was doing a bunch of research. You guys know I love this. And it's absolutely fascinating, like what is actually neurologically happening in your brain when you like somebody and when that relationship ends or stops. Okay, number 1, you miss the idea of who he could have been, not who he actually was. You may have put this person on a pedestal and built them up so much in your head to try and make them this amazing, perfect person, the love of your life. But in reality, they may not have been that person. And since the relationship is over, then it wasn't your person. And I'm so guilty of that. I'm such a romanticizer, you guys know. I always build people up in my head. Literally, I'm the worst at it. Also, you guys, yeah, just know when I'm talking to you and telling you all these points, I'm also talking to myself because I need this information too. And I still struggle with these things all the time. So I'm right there with you, girl. I'm talking to all of us here, okay? Myself included. But you might just be missing the idea of who that person was. This is very situational, right? If you dated this guy for 3 years, you probably have a pretty good gauge and sense of who that person is. But for most of you, I would guess is probably just a situationship, short-term talking stage, maybe short-term partner dating relationship. You don't even know who that person actually is. And if you're like me, you probably were romanticizing it and building him up to be this most amazing, perfect person when you don't even know if that's who he actually is. Number 2, you miss feeling wanted, even though it was inconsistent and confusing. It is a natural human desire and instinct to want to be wanted, to want to feel wanted. We are social creatures. We are designed to want to fit in and want to be loved, especially in a romantic way, like also platonic, but especially romantically. We are all literally designed to love and to be with people and for human connection. So even if the relationship was inconsistent, confusing, toxic in some ways, you can still miss that feeling of being chosen, being wanted, being admired by somebody, because that is such a good feeling no matter who it is. Like I remember the other day, I was at In-N-Out and this guy came up to me that, no offense, just no, like just no, not very cute and just like no, but he was a very confident, vivacious fella. He was just going for it. And I remember, obviously we were talking for a sec and I was like, no way, like absolutely not. But even just like he asked for my number and I even left that situation just feeling good about myself, right? Like even this guy who, no offense, this guy's great, not for me, but even this guy who I was like, hell no. The fact that he wanted me made me feel good about myself, right? Like, of course, we want people to like us, we want people to want us. Number three, this is my favorite one, so listen closely. You miss the familiarity, not the person. Your brain got used to their presence. When you start to get close to someone, neurologically, your brain starts releasing chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine, the bonding, happy chemicals. So your brain starts associating this person with security, safety, and happiness. Over time, your brain is going to start developing a routine around this person. Every time you see their text pop up on your phone, you get a little hit of dopamine and excitement. Every time you know you're going to see them, you get super happy. And this is a good thing. But when you aren't in the relationship anymore, when you leave the relationship, those feelings don't go away right away. It takes a while for those feelings to dissipate and fully go away because you psychologically bonded to that person. Like, it's not just like, oh, I miss him. Like, oh, I can't wait to see him. You know, like, you actually are like bonded, which is like kind of creepy and weird to think about. But like, that also, I think, helps put a lot of validity into your feelings. Like, of course, you miss the familiarity of this person. You miss being with this person because your brain was bonded to them. So when this person leaves or when the relationship ends, it's almost like your brain is in withdrawal. It's literally similar to like drug withdrawal. Actually, I don't know if it is, but I would assume it is because those chemicals in your brain aren't being activated because they've been associated with seeing this person. It's not emotional, it's neurological. That's why you can know a relationship or a person wasn't right for you, but you still miss them. Number four, you don't miss them, you miss the person you were when you were with them. Sometimes you don't just miss the person, but you miss the version of yourself that existed with them. Certain people can bring out certain emotions, habits, identities. Maybe you felt more confident with this person, more fun, more excited, more alive. Your brain starts to connect that feeling with that person. So when they're gone, it feels like that version of you disappeared too. This happens because our identities are partly shaped by our relationships. When the relationship ends, there's this temporary identity gap. So it can feel like you lost not just them, but a piece of yourself. But here's the good part. That version of you was never created by them. It was revealed by them. Meaning that those qualities already existed inside of you. You already had those traits and attributes within yourself. He just unlocked it. As you start to heal, you can create a life that brings those same parts of you back, but this time in a healthier and more stable way. You're not going to fully get that version of yourself back that you were when you were with that person, but you are going to become an even stronger one. And that I feel like is so liberating to think. Okay, number five, your nervous system bonded to them, especially if the relationship was intense, on and off, or super emotionally charged in a negative or positive way, which is horrible to say and think, but if you were in a super emotionally intense relationship, your nervous system gets really attached to that person and how you feel and who you are when you with that person. Even if the relationship wasn't healthy, which sucks, but our brains remember negativity and trauma because that gets more easily hardwired into our brains. So your literal nervous system is bonded with this person. Now, if you are in the stage of a breakup, ex-situationship, missing someone in general, remember that selective memory is kicking in. So essentially, your brain is going to remember the best parts of this person, all of the highlights, all of the good things of the relationship, those feelings, how you felt when you were with them, how you felt loved, chosen, beautiful, all of those positive things. And it's quicker to forget the negative parts of the relationship and the things that you didn't love about this person, the icks you got, the red flags you saw. Your brain is so good at replaying the highlights and muting the hard parts, which is a good thing, but it's so important to remember, especially when getting over someone, that that person wasn't all that great. And there was times you were with them where maybe you got the ick, or maybe you didn't really like how you felt with them or didn't really like that person that much. But when you don't have them, since your brain and your body is literally in that withdrawal state, you are going to romanticize and hyperfixate on the best parts of that person. Okay, now let's talk about detaching from this person. There are three ways to start to sort of detach and let go of this person and missing this person? One, when the emotional rewards from this person stop. So when you stop fantasizing, romanticizing of all the best parts of this person in the relationship and the physical aspects of it, just all of those reward systems that have gotten so programmed in your brain, when you start kind of outgrowing those reward systems in your brain. This is like getting scientific. Sorry, guys. Why is this so scientific? I think this is so helpful, and I hope it's helpful for you guys just to understand like what is actually happening when you are missing somebody and when you are detaching from somebody. Number two, and this is a really good one, when new sources of comfort and identity and joy replace them. I always say the best way to get over a man is to get under a new one. And how that might sound like not the best advice, it is honestly one of the best things you can do. And you don't have to quite literally like go make out with someone else, but like just distract your brain and replace that void that you're going to fill because this person is not with you anymore. That sounds like they died. Oh my gosh. Because this person's no longer like in your life. Hopefully they didn't die. That's so sad. That's a whole other thing. Oh my gosh, I will cry. That is the saddest thing ever. But yeah, just finding like new sources of joy and excitement to replace them, whether that's a person, friends, a hobby, a job, school, anything. Something else to replace those parts of your brain that were attached to him and fill that void in a sense. 3, the memories lose their emotional charge over time. This is the most true thing ever, you guys. Like, seriously, your emotions are really heightened when you just get out of a relationship and when you're in a relationship, especially right when it ends, though, because you, again, that selective memory kicks in and you're going to remember all of the good, fluffy, best times of your life. And this is literally one of the hardest pieces of advice to hear when going through a breakup, but it does get better with time. The number one way to heal is with time in any instance and situation in your life. And that's just the most annoying advice to hear, I know, because it's like, bro, I don't want time. I want to feel better right now. I don't want this to be the forefront of my mind at all times. But it also could bring you some peace to know that like you won't feel this way forever. I promise you, you won't. Trust me, I've been through so many breakups, so many situationships, ghosting, whatever. And in the moment, you cannot, it's like you're in a cloud, a dark cloud, and you literally feel like you cannot see reality and you cannot see how you will be okay and how you will not feel like this. But I promise you that you will. And you will be able to move past this guy and move on with your life and then date someone who's even better for you. Because I always say dating is just essentially picking up data. You are just gathering data and evidence about what you like and what you don't like in relationships. So this person that you were with, they might have been a great person and you might have liked some things about them and probably didn't like some things about them. And now you can move on. It's literally a game. It's literally like a game. Dating's a game. You move on and you take those parts and pieces that you liked about that person that you were with historically and you look for those in your future partners. So if you're going through a breakup, the next guy's only going to be better. The next person is only going to be so much better than this other guy because you're not going to settle for less than you deserve or less than that guy treated you. So some simple, tangible ways to get over someone is to reduce the reminders, less checking their social media, less rereading your old text messages. Guilty. I literally used to do that all the time with this, well, many, but this one situationship in particular, I remember I would go back and like, we had like a funny, like witty banter and I would literally go back and like just read our texts and it would make me so sad but happy. It's like a burning pain in your chest. I don't even know how to describe it. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you know that feeling, but you just, it's like an ache. You just ache and you yearn for this person and reading the text or seeing their social media is just a reminder of that ache, right? And it just makes that even worse. So reducing the reminders can help your brain stop triggering these emotional loops. That's why they say like going no contact can be helpful. I've actually never done that, but I don't feel like I really had to, but I am all for it if I will need to. And if anyone else needs to, if they feel like that is the best solution. But for sure, even just like unfollowing them, even blocking them, just so you don't have to see it. Like, when their freaking Instagram bubble story comes up and you just get a hit of dopamine and you want to click on it, but then you don't want to see that he viewed your story. Oh, it's a whole thing. So just kind of lessening your reminders of him, not going through old pictures that you have with this person or seeing his family, following his mom's Instagram, like unfollow his mom Instagram, unfollow the sisters that you're connected with or whatever, because neurologically, right? Like your brain is going to start to disassociate those feelings to that person with the happiness. So like your brain is going to become less and less attached to this person if you're not constantly being reminded and seeing this person. Next is just filling the space that they left. So creating new routines for yourself, new friends, new hobbies, doing something to distract yourself and also just fill this void and this emptiness that you feel without this person. Your brain needs replacement. It can't have just emptiness. So just filling it with something that you can put your passion into, or maybe not even that. Like for me, I always say like this podcast is something that has helped me get over so many guys because it's just something I can pour my energy into, right? But I know not everyone has a podcast. So for anyone else, like maybe you want to learn to crochet or coloring or skateboarding, whatever you want to do, like any fun hobby that you can distract yourself with, trying to go out and meet new friends and hanging out with those friends and confiding in those friends. Every single human on this planet has been rejected or broken up with, maybe not broken up with, but definitely rejected at some point in their life. And something that I've noticed within my own life is that vulnerability makes people have so much more respect for you. So if I ever like got ghosted or if I got rejected, I would be like, play it off with my friends. I'm like, oh, well, no, I just didn't really like him or something. And now I feel like I'm at a point where I just am like, yeah, he ghosted me, guys. Like, I don't know. And none of your friends are ever going to look at you as less than or a loser because that guy ghosted you, because they can see your worth and how amazing you are. And it also is just makes you relatable. Like no one wants somebody who's perfect, and no one wants somebody who is always getting hit on and never getting rejected and never getting ghosted and never getting broken up with. Like, ew, no, I don't want a friend like that because that just is annoying and I'm going to compare myself to her, right? Which is my own thing that I would need to work on in that instance. But just being vulnerable to people, and it just, like all of my friends who have gotten broken up with, rejected, ghosted, I have never thought any less of them. If anything, it makes me be like, girl, you deserve so much better because I know you and I know how amazing and beautiful and special you are. And if he can't see that, then he's a dickhead. Sorry, can't say that on here. But, like genuinely. So give that same compassion and empathy that you give to your friends to yourself. Like, it's so much harder to do for yourself, but just try to do that in your own situations. Like if you get ghosted, broken up with, say, well, I deserve so much better. Then that just means that's not my person. And there's nothing wrong with me. That doesn't say anything about me. It's a reflection of him. Because your person is not going to break up with you and your person is not going to ghost you. As hard as that is to see, it was never about you. It's about them. It's a reflection of them and what they're going through and what they need in a relationship. It's nothing to do with you. Next is just letting yourself miss them without acting on it. You're allowed to miss this person. You're allowed to sort of mourn this person in a way because they're no longer in your life. But again, no acting on it, no stalking them on Instagram, no checking their location. If you have their location, turn it off, because I've been there and I literally would stalk the location like every 5 hours or 2 hours, literally every day. So that is, remove the location, distract yourself, go do things for yourself that make you happy. But don't just try to avoid the thoughts and avoid missing them, because that's not going to happen. It's inevitable that you're going to miss them. But feelings pass faster when you don't feed them. It's just like they're a little cloud floating above your head. You miss them for a moment. You get a little tinge in your chest of sadness. Just observe it. Let it go by. You don't have to avoid it or shut it out. But don't feed it, and don't exacerbate those feelings and make them bigger or worse, because that is just getting you back into that vicious cycle. Just letting yourself miss them, letting yourself have that feeling, but just letting it go by, not feeding the thought. Next, change the story that is in your head. Instead of saying like, oh, they were perfect for me, like that was my person, that was the love of my life. Instead, just say that they were a lesson that taught me something. That person, whether if they did you dirty or you ended amicably, they taught you something. And you're gonna go on to your next relationship with that data that you've collected from that person, and your next relationship's gonna be even better. Our brains do so much better when we turn things in our lives into meaning. So even if you were in a really toxic relationship, you can turn it into a meaning of, okay, now I know what not to do. Or if you're in a relationship where you like this person, but maybe it just didn't work out for whatever reason, you can turn that into, I really like this about this person, not this. So I'm going to take this and go find that in the next person. That person taught you something about yourself, about your relationship styles, whatever you need in a relationship. Don't just hold tons of resentment and animosity towards this person, even if they did you dirty, because they taught you something. And now you know what not to do or what to do better in your next relationship. Okay, closing line that I want to reiterate. You don't miss this person as much as the way you felt with this person. And that is a hard distinction to make. Those feelings of excitement, connection, comfort can exist again with another person and someone healthier. Just because you feel like you're never gonna find love again and you'll never be okay doesn't mean it's true, because it's not true. You will find someone. You will be okay again. And as much as it's hard to see that when you're in the midst of a breakup, just know that this is just a chapter of your life that is teaching you something. I like to think about this sometimes like, imagine you are in a movie. What would the people watching this movie be saying to you? Be shouting at the screen to you that you don't know what's gonna happen, but they do. They see something greater for us. In my eyes, that's kind of like how God sees us. God has a plan for us, and He puts us through things to make us stronger, because He's not going to put you through something that you can't handle. Maybe that person did you wrong, but if he never did you wrong, then maybe you would have gone into 4 other relationships like that. So now you've broken the cycle. It's all about your mindset and how you kind of flip the negative things that happen to yourself and turn them into good things almost, and things that taught you. Maybe not even good things, but just things that taught you a lesson. Okay, guys, that is it for this week's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and took something from this and got something out of this. If you are going through a breakup right now, just know it gets better. And you're not going to feel this way forever. And so many people in your life are there for you and can relate to you. It's so normal to get broken up with or to break up with someone, whatever situation you're in. It happens all the time and it sucks. And I hope learning a little bit more about some psychology that I shared about what's neurologically going on in your brain is helpful for you, because it's not like you shouldn't be feeling this way or you're the only one that feels this way. Like, no, this is literally science-backed evidence to why your brain is doing what it's doing. But just know it's temporary and it's not forever. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Did I already say that? I don't remember. Don't forget to follow the show if you haven't already. Follow the Instagram and TikTok accounts. It's cringe, but it's true with a dot between each word. And yeah, that is all. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.